fat bastard!
This conflict is, don't just leave the imbalance at the numbers themselves. No, this lone soldier doesn't even have an adequate weapon. Nothing sharp, nothing spiky, nothing even made of metal. Okay, just look at this shot. Listen to this music. We know so much about this character just from these three elements. That first moment, this shot, and this music. No context needed at all. You don't need to watch this movie. Kind of dirty and look poor, maybe even malnourished. And then the officers all look clean, polished, along with all of its ills. We are funneled into one soldier, mustache guy, being sent with a specific goal of arresting one protester, red shirt guy, because he disrespected the king. That is much more manageable. That's something we can hold in our heads while we focus on other things, like meeting this main character. Okay, now let's talk about what is about to happen here. Don't just leave the imbalance at the numbers themselves. No, this lone soldier doesn't even have an adequate weapon. Nothing sharp, nothing spiky, nothing even made of metal, stick. And another layer here, the fence. Once our guy goes out there, he cannot just give up and come back to safety. This shot right here isn't just to introduce us to this character's physical prowess, it's also to very subtly show that this crisis has reached such a level that this fence cannot even be safely opened to let someone out, much less to let someone. What we see is not some invincible warrior who can magically fight off 500,000 other people. No, on the contrary, almost as soon as this guy jumps the fence, what happens to him is exactly what we expect. It is sort of realistic that these people might be unsteady on their feet in such chaos. These pesky protesters, and it will get us closer to Redshirt. And then also it's going to put us in another position where we can use gravity to take out multiple opponents at once, all while cushioning our fall to get us even closer. So with this big cunning plan, we see our guy is not just focused, disciplined, loyal, etc. He also has a brain. Dumbness is not going to be his weakness. He's not just some big brute who gets easily outsmarted. No, he has a plan, and the plan works. And he gets Redshirt guy. And suddenly we're thrown into the home stretch here. And something really interesting happens here. Maybe it even started earlier for you. Another important function of an arc is bonding you to the character. If we go through a whole difficult journey with a character and see them struggle and grit their teeth and stay strong and power through, we feel invested in this person. Being next to someone for an entire little progression of events, that builds a relationship. We identify with them. We admire their effort, their strength, their drive, and we want them to succeed by the end. And weirdly, at some point throughout all this, I would guess most of us started rooting for the Indian colonialist traitor guy here, even though in our political ideological minds he is on the wrong side of this conflict. Even though what we are watching him do is arrest a fairly innocent protesters supporting a moral cause. Remember, Redshirt guy threw a stone and didn't even hurt anyone. He just broke a picture of a king, this head of a colonial empire, a monarchy. I think most doing with all this, watching this guy fight tooth and nail for this impossible goal, and he does it. He is in, and then we get the perfect cathartic conclusion to this little story. Just like the music, our guy is back where he's to the colonial prejudices of the regime he works for. We see 3 Englishmen chosen over him. So now this whole thing is even, and it's been less than 10 minutes since we met him. Unbelievable. Okay, so we're going to get to spoilers in a bit, so beware. And incredibly, this introduction scene also sets discipline and immovability are actually exactly what allow him to be such a hero. Once we learn more, it can be admirable or condemnable depending on the end goal. And then all of Ram's scary evil qualities become heroic good qualities instantly once we learn of all that conflict is also reflected in Beam's reaction to learning Ram's backstory. We experience along with the main character this instant shift in how we feel about this character. Anyone else who, like me, hasn't been exposed to much Hindi cinema, and I think a lot of us probably don't really jive with how over the top this movie is in like literally every single aspect. It just beats you over the head with every feeling it wants you to feel, which is fun, but it's also rough, and it can break immersion super easily if that's not what you're used to. But I want to mention that one function of the